Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And so I decided as a challenge starting at 3 p.m. today is that I'm going to use both the Celero 5G Plus and the Celero 5G until 3 p.m. tomorrow. So with the magic of video editing, you guys get to see the end result, the same video so quickly. But for me, I'm going to be using these devices for a day. Now, right now, apparently, well, not apparently, but my Celero 5G Plus is my main daily driver device right now with my Boost Infinite line in it. And I've been using it for the last couple of days. And I brought out the Celero 5G. But I can already tell you right now, like I am enjoying actually using both of these phones. It's kind of weird, right? Using both Celeros and just like, okay, how's this going to work out? Now, you know, for some people, you'll probably ask why, like, what's the point of all this and everything like that? They're not flagship phones. And let me just kind of explain that I'm not a person that like has to stick with the flagship phone to have a great experience with a smartphone. There's lots of mid-range devices, budget devices that I think are like really good for what they are. And the purpose that I'm doing this is to kind of just see if there's like a super big difference between both these devices as far as using them and feel, you know, like the functionality of the the software and everything. Like, how does it feel? Those types of things is what's to be taken into consideration. So as I said, with the magical power of video editing, we're getting into the next day. And so we're back now. Welcome back. I mean, hasn't been long for you guys, but it's been long for me. And so using both these devices for 24 hours. The Celero 5G, first of its kind, literally just, pretty solid phone. I really have to say it's pretty solid. And kind of miss using it. Haven't used it in a while. So bringing it out yesterday and then going ahead and just kind of getting it set up and everything like that was pretty cool. So, to go straight off the bat, I mean, like, yeah, there's a couple of caveats to both these phones that I'll tell you guys right now. And that's literally the fact is that software support is just not there. It would surprise me if WingTech and Boost Mobile got together and was like, hey, let's get our devices up to date. That'd be really neat. Getting this to Android 13 would probably be pretty awesome. I really wouldn't want it to go beyond that because that's just kind of reaching and pushing too far. But I really would love if they actually just gave these things some more support, at least. They're good phones. They really are. Like they're not flagship. Okay. And I said this yesterday. They're not flagship. So coming at it, looking at it as in like a cheap option for flagship is just, I don't know. To me, that's just ridiculous. Okay. I know people have wishful thinking and they wish for that type of stuff, right? Like they get all these flagship features in their phone and they want to pay less than $500 for it. And it's like, I mean, if you're wanting everything that, a Galaxy Fold is offering, you can't expect that in, a sub $200 phone. If you want everything that the iPhone 14 Pro Max is giving or the Google Pixel 7 Pro is giving, you're not going to get that in a sub $200 phone. It's just, that's not what it is. So if you go into it knowing what they are and you're like, okay, you know what, like these are going to be mid-range devices. Well, at least a mid-ranger on this one, about a budget mid-ranger, I would say the Celero is. Without the expectations of it being super grand, you'll actually be pleasantly surprised on just how well they both run. Now, the Celero 5G runs Android 11 and the 5G Plus runs Android 12. So a little bit of a difference there. Now, I know that, probably one of the big things that maybe people might enjoy with the Celero 5G on Android 11 is that most people that didn't like the Material U UI will definitely love the user interface on Android 11. I think some people still till today talk about how much they would rather just have that user interface than Android 12. But besides that, it's, the Celero 5G runs a MediaTek chip, while Snapdragon from Qualcomm on the 5G Plus. You definitely can see a very different experience between both these phones as far as performance, but it's not like a big drastic difference. So it's not like this is just like taking eons to load something or to scroll through something versus the 5G Plus. But there is a slight more speed to the 5G Plus with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 695 versus the MediaTek chip in here. especially when you are really working these phones. You're really just kind of putting them through their paces. Um, the weakness in the MediaTek chip does show with the Celero 5G. To be quite honest, on if I can give a little feedback to Boost Mobile Dish Wireless, when it comes to the 5G Plus, like solid with what WingTech built you guys, really really solid, and I would love everything about this phone in the size of this. So it would have been cool if there were two releases this year, and like a Celero 5G second gen and then the 5G Plus second gen. That would be really nice. This size phone just feels more manageable in my hands. I mean, I love using the 5G Plus, but sometimes the size of it being as big as it is gets a bit overbearing. And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, like I just want to put it down for a while, let my fingers rest. The Celero 5G feels more comfortable in my hands to use, but that's just me. Okay, this is a preference thing. Totally subjective. I know some people are going to disagree with me and they're going to love this size form factor, and I love this size form factor too. Like I love being able to watch media on this. It's such a big display that I can watch movies and actually feel pretty cool about it, especially like if I don't want to wake anybody up and I'm just lying in bed at night and want to catch a movie before I pass out to go to work tomorrow. Yeah, but also this size form factor just makes it just more easier to hold, whatnot, and just comfortable for all day hold and everything like that if you're like someone that's always having your phone in your hand. I know this is not an ASMR thing, but I mean, they are light. The back does not feel like glass, but apparently both of these, this for sure, I've been told, is glass on the back over here. And they said the same thing for this one. Some say it's plastic, but it feels like the same material on both phones. So I'm going to assume that this is glass also as well on the back. Major differences, obviously, is going to be the cameras, and especially with indoor light shots. I mean, this does do a little bit better with the indoor low light shots than on the Celero 5G. But with software updates, I was able to find out that it actually has fixed some of that issue with the camera. So when you do take some shots, like zooming in, zooming out, those tend to be pretty good. So the cameras is decent. You're gonna get the photos that matter with either one of these. Video quality on the Celero 5G is still a miss. When you are shooting video and you switch to wide angle video shooting, it does get super dark in low light. But if you're outside in natural lighting and stuff like that, then you'll be just totally fine with that. That's not going to be like a huge issue whatsoever taking video, and to do okay in the video department. But just don't be expecting I wouldn't use these for serious vlogging YouTube videos, but I would definitely use these just for life vlogging, just vlogging my day. What am I doing? What am I up to? Selfie cams are good on both of them. Of course, you get the teardrop notch on the Celero 5G. You get the hole punch camera for the selfie on the 5G Plus. When it comes to battery, both of them are actually really good at battery maintaining. Throughout the day on a single charge, you'll have no problem with either one of these. And you just don't have to worry about it. Now, the only big difference between both these devices when it comes down to battery and charging and all that stuff is that the 5G Plus has wireless charging. The Celero 5G does not. So you might want to keep that in mind. Now, I'm not going to say these devices are water resistant, so don't dunk these things in water. But then when it comes to any smartphone, even if it's IP68 or 67 water and dust resistance, I still wouldn't recommend dunking it in water. In all, is the Celero brand a brand that people should take into consideration when it comes to picking up a phone? And you know what? This is just directed to those that are going to be on Boost Infinite or Boost Mobile. And that is yes. Especially with the 5G Plus, this picks up a lot of Dish native 5G bands that is needed to be on that network. So you'll have no problem with this. Now, when it comes to the Celero 5G, there's rumors about it that there's actually two different versions of this that's out there. The 2021 version supports specific, 5G and LTE bands that the 2022 one doesn't. Well, not doesn't, but does. The 2021 version doesn't. There's a couple of bands. The 2021 manufactured models are missing a couple of bands, which is so weird because it's still a Celero 5G, regardless of built in 2021 or built in 2022. Problem is that the 2022 model, and I forgot what the model numbers are. I'll probably do a different video talking about that, but you'll know by the model number of the phone. It'll actually tell you, and that's specifically Celero 5G. I'm not talking about the 5G Plus now. I'm just talking about this model right here, the Celero 5G. There's actually two versions of it, and one of them has updated LTE and 5G bands compared to when the first batch of the Celero 5Gs that were made were released in 2021. So you might want to keep that in mind. Like I said, I'm going to make a video totally talking about that later on whatsoever. Also going to be making a video to see if clear nail polish remover actually helps smartphones that are like really, really cracked. As far as just being able to handle them, like really realistically, when it comes to glass breaking and stuff like that, like you may get lucky and have like some resin, some liquid resin to actually cover that up and really kind of hide it. And that's cool if you're able to do that. But when it comes to glass, more than likely, especially when it's a very like, you know, big impacted cracked glass, it's not going to just disappear with resin. But the end game goal here is to just basically make the surface smooth to your fingers to touch. Because that's really what bothers people about cracked displays. No one really cares if it's cracked visually looking at it, but feeling it is where it becomes a problem. So I'll be making a video on that later on this week, so you guys be on the lookout for that. Two great options offered by Dish Wireless on their Boost Infinite and Boost Mobile. Definitely worth looking into if you just want to have like a pretty solid phone that can do a lot and not spend so much money doing it. So that's it in a nutshell after 24 hours. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are. Talk to you on the next one. And as always, law.